Hello and good day. This is Steve Higginbotham, and I am the Coffee Coach. I've been thinking a lot, most recently, about trigger point. And what I'm referring to is that moment in time when you're redefining yourself, when you've come against all odds, almost like the underdog, and when you decide to rise above it, and when you decide to become bigger and better than you've been. But what triggers in your mind? And when does that happen? And maybe it's tiny little triggers along the way, and maybe it's been brought up for decades and centuries. I don't know. But what I want to dive into and what I'm asking you to think about is, who are you today? Where do you want to go? And at what point does your mind shift and say, I no longer want to be mediocre? I no longer can accept what I'm doing, where I'm at. I'm not happy with myself. For me, it's been a journey. It's been years and years and years. I left a company after 10 years, and great company, but I felt like I was holding myself back. And now in the last 9 years, I've been changing positions and moving jobs and doing a lot of unique things. And some people look at me and say, you're crazy. And some people look at me and say, oh, that's too scary, that's risky. And they're right on both sides. But I love that. I rise above the challenges, and I feel like I've grown so much as a person and so much as a business leader because I've been through all that. But when did my mind trigger and say, no longer do I want to be held down? I want to spread my wings and fly. I know that sounds like a cheesy cliche, but that's what comes to mind is I am just starting my journey, and I've only been doing this for 9 years. Where do I want to go? What do I see? What triggered in my mind? At what point? That's what I'm asking. When is there that defining moment from mediocre to ridiculously successful? And there's a huge journey in between that. And those are the books and things that I'm writing and things that you'll see on YouTube. That's what I'm writing about right now. But at some point, I will be here because I no longer want to be here. I do not want to be mediocre. Ever. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm excellent. I have so much stuff to do. But I no longer in my mind believe that I'm average. I know that I'm above average. And I have that strong belief system. And I do have that inner drive. But I'm asking you, at what point does your mind trigger? That's the question that I've been asking myself most recently. What is that trigger point? When does it happen? Where does it come from? Obviously, you've got to challenge it. But if you take like Oprah Winfrey, from rags to riches, you take Conor McGregor, humility. Yeah, he seems a little arrogant and cocky, but he's a phenomenal fighter. And you take the Shaun White story and you look and you listen at all that. What takes a person that has that inner drive to become so successful? What do they tell themselves in their mind? What do they think? What do they believe? That's what I'm trying to get to. And I'm not there yet. But I keep asking myself, what's the difference? What's the trigger point? I'm Steve Higginbotham, and I am the Coffee Coach.